Hello and welcome to Barre. This is a mixture of ballet, Pilates and other fitness elements. And today it is going to work best if you are seated. So I've titled this as an at-work workout, but really it's just a series of seated exercises. There is the flow of a workout over the half hour, but equally you could take any of these individual components and just slot them into your day at work or anywhere that you might be seated. There are some variations where we can add movement through the legs, but mostly it is an upper body workout, but with stabilizing through the glutes and the pelvis. So make it work for you and let me know how you get on. We are going to start in a seated position. We have two props that we are using today. One is a pair of small dumbbells, small hand weights. They could be tins from your kitchen cupboard if you're at home. They could be full bottles of water if you're at work, or someone else's water bottle. Just pinch it for your workout. And we will be using a fitness ring, which again you might not have when you are at work, but you might be able to modify some other prop that's similar, or you can always do the exercises without as well. So if you do have those things, pop them nearby and follow along with me. We are going to start with a little bit of movement just through the chest, the breath. So we're going to inhale through the nose. We're going to exhale through the mouth. One more time, breathe in, breathe out. On our next inhale, we're going to open up the chest a little bit to the sky before we take a curve over the back, rounding the spine. Take a breath in again. Exhale, grounding through the sit bones, restacking chest over pelvis, head over chest as we come back up. We're going to go for some little shoulder rolls, rolling the shoulders back and open. Two more this way, and just allow the hands to rest onto the legs. Roll the shoulders back the other way. We're going to take the arms forwards and away. So if you're at your desk, you might need a little bit of space in front of you, just so you can reach the arms forward to chest height, all the way up and over the shoulder socket. Bring them back, lengthen them down again. So we're finding those two parallel lines, reaching up and away. Make sure you can still see your upper arms out the corners of your eyes there. Don't let the arms fly behind you. Really think about that technique of our posture here. Optimum movement through the shoulder socket. Let's leave the arms there. We'll go for a little bit of protraction. So we're reaching the fingertips away. You could always be holding onto your fitness ring or a block or your water bottle there as we reach the shoulder blades apart, together, apart. Then they're going to slide together on the back. So the shoulder blades slide together and apart, together and apart. Just a little retraction, really nice small movements. Perfect for a small space. One more time. Allow the arms down for a second. Just shake that off through the shoulders. We'll tuck the fingers onto the shoulders as we take some circles through the elbows. 4 in one direction, 4 in the other, and then we will repeat that one more time. So we're going back again with those elbows, keeping lengthened through the spine the whole time. This is a great place to really think about our pelvic floor muscle change direction. Gently lifting from between the sit bones, giving us a little internal lift like we stepped into cold water. Back the other way as we think about our TVA muscle, that corset of muscle that wraps around the waist. Just gently notching in towards the belly button. Release the arms, take a big reach up for the sky. Take little circles through the hands, through the arms as they come down. One more time, reaching up. And I'm going to circle the wrist back the other way as the arms come back down again. We're going to place the hands back onto the legs. We're thinking now of a little mini contraction between the rib cage and the pelvis, or an imprint position that we might use when we're in a supine on the floor position. But here we can use it just to find a little bit of contraction and release. So if you're not familiar, place your thumbs on your bottom ribs, fingers on the hip bones, and take a little contraction, just closing your pincer hands together a bit, and then lengthen away. So it's really small. You shouldn't really lose any height through the spine, so it shouldn't collapse down and then return. It should stay tall. Imagine someone's holding a balloon in front of you, and the balloon is inflating and you're just making a bit of space for it and then coming back. Lengthening away. One more. return to that neutral, just crossing the arms on the chest. We're going to go for a little rotation through the spine. So we're nice and tall. We take an exhale to rotate one way. We take an inhale to return. Same thing the other way. Return, 2 more to either side. Just lengthening those fingers away from you, over the shoulders. Checking again, pelvic floor, TVA. So we're always muscularly working those muscles that are closest to the spine, giving it the most support. Coming back to the middle, release the arms. We'll take a little bit of movement through the head and the neck before we pick up the first of our props. So we're going to rotate, come back, rotate, come back. Are you still broad across the collarbones? And you're just trying to look gently over one shoulder and return. We'll go for a little look up and look down on the next motion. Here we go, let's change here. Look up and center, look down and center. One more each way. And then if you have a fitness ring, grab hold. We're going to place it onto the leg. So I've just made a little bit of space between my legs for the handle there. And I'm pressing down. If you don't have a fitness ring, you can place the hands behind the head. And we're going to be taking a little upper abdominal curl. So it's the same action through the torso. This will just give you a little bit more resistance. So if we are here, we're curving over and gently pressing and unrolling. So there's a little bit of stabilization through the shoulder socket down the lats in the back as you take that upper abdominal curl and lengthen away. And you could be doing the same thing with the hands behind the head, curving up and over. You might find there's a little more range of movement there. Make sure you can see the 2 elbows out the corners of your eyes. Let's go 2 more. Wherever you are, whether you are with hands behind the head or if you are with your little fitness ring, take a moment, release. Release your hands, release your prop. We're going to go for the same action, but a nice broad position to start, arms wide in second. So we're going to curve it forwards into a first and open away. Same again. We're going to take a third one. And instead of a fourth one, we'll release the arms and we'll open through the chest up to the ceiling and return. Here we go, same pattern, 3 of these. Curving the arms, curving the back. 2 to go. 1 more. Use that breath. Release the arms. Lengthen upwards through the spine, little lift of the chest. 1 more time, curve it over and reach away. 2 to go. Coming into our last one. Pelvis nice and still. Waistline nice and still here as we lift. As we return, we're going to slide the hands down and over the legs. Take a little moment to curve forwards. Breathing into the side and back of the ribs. We've got some abdominal support here, but we're mostly released through the shoulder socket, that lengthen curve into the neck. Take a breath in, we're going to slowly unroll and return. Back to a seated position. Now for the next one, we're going to be mixing between using our hands for an upper back extension, and then sometimes using our hand weights. So have the hand weights in easy reach. If they can be onto the table in front of you, that's great, or next to you. Mine will be down here on the floor, so you're going to see me taking a little forward bend now and then. But we're starting with hands on the forehead, taking that same upward extension angle. So we're thinking inhaling up and exhaling back again, lengthening on top of the sit bones, breathing in. So making sure this isn't just about the head and the neck. I'm really thinking sternum lifting. And I'm not really thinking very far at all. If you have a back to your chair, you could always sit it back a little bit. Take a little bit of support from that. Just make sure it doesn't go too far. Think of it more as a sort of feedback of where this upper extension is in the spine. Let's go for 1 more. Breathe in. Return. Release the arms down. I'm going to pick up those 2 hand weights and just come to an upright position. First of all, starting with a pronation and a supination. So we're just turning through the palms, turning them to face forwards, to face backwards. We're just rotating in the forearm. If my hand is off the screen there, it's just doing this action, but facing right down towards the floor. So you've got arms pointing right down from the shoulder socket and just rotating the hand, or pronating, supinating in the forearm. We're going to come back to a supinated position. So the palms are facing forwards and we're open through the chest, and we're going to take a little lift through the sternum there. So you've got breathing in and breathing out to return. You've just got one more. Keep the arms long and low but wide through the collarbones. And return. Popping those hand weights back down. Yep. We've got a little bit of 100. The 100 is the 100 pulsing arms. So if I take it slightly wider again, you can see that little pulse. Now we want to avoid any shunting through the pelvis. So we've got to use our glutes and our pelvic floor and our lower abs as we're sitting there. So we're thinking about that lower body stabilizing against the movement through the upper body. We're really trying to minimize. And you two might have a little bit of movement. We're going to start to turn the palms in and start to raise the arms up and out to the side. You might find it a little bit easier to stabilize through the pelvis there. Let's start to close them in front of us, in line with the shoulder socket, just taking that little gentle pulse. We're going to take it back out to the side. Wide across the collarbones. Renew that sense of engagement through the glutes as the arms come back down, little tiny penguin flapping arms. And then we're going to rotate the palms so they're facing back again. We could add, if we wanted to, an extension from the knee, an extension from the knee, alternating legs. Alternatively, you could take a little raise of the knee and down. Now that doesn't have to be the whole foot coming away from the floor. That could just be a little heel raise, return, heel raise, return. So you've got lots of options there. If you wanted to add a little bit of lower body work, but you don't have to, we're going to turn the palms in to face the chair again. I'm going to keep the legs going, but you could leave the legs behind as you take this little fluffy penguin arm out to the side again. And again, we're going to take that forwards in line with the shoulder socket. Anytime you can pause the legs, we're going to bring the arms back out. You're doing really well. We're well over halfway. Calm down. We're coming back around again to our palms facing back. And just stay lengthened, we're going to tilt forward slightly. So we've got a long spine, we're pressing slightly more back now, so a little bit more focus into the triceps. Feet just grounded on the floor, making sure we don't flare open through the ribs. We're just going to do 8 more here. Last 4 before we start to come back upright. That's a bit hard to coordinate. And come back to just those little pulses. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach the arms up and away. And lengthen them down. Good, have a little shoulder roll. We're going to take ourselves into some movements with weights. So grabbing hold of your hand weights again. Coming back upright. I've got these little right angles through the elbows and I'm wide across the collarbones. I'm proud through the chest. And I've got the elbows just slightly floating away from the hips as I take a little rotation in the upper arm and in. Renew that sense of glute engagement, pelvic floor lifting, TVA gently wrapping around the waist. We're going to do one more and then we're going to hold it out there and we're going to rotate. So the elbow's going to come up, palms rotate, and then elbows come down. Do one more at that speed. Nice and slow. And then we could speed that up as well. Think out, think in, rather than up and down. Out and in. And we're staying tall through the spine. Don't let those elbows come too high. They don't want to come any higher than shoulder height. We're going to go for 2 more. 2 and 1. Come down. We're going to renew back into those opening and closing. So we've got that little rotation, return, rotation. We've got 8 of these. So 4 more to go and then we're changing it up again. We're going to take a little upright rowing action. Last 2. After your last one, we're going to reach both palms forwards, pull it back, and reach away. Now we're trying not to shift through the body here. We're just trying to stay upright, pulling back through the elbows, pressing away through the knuckles. Stay long in the back of the wrists. You've got 4 more. Here we go. And reach. Come in. Only 2 to go. I'm smiling because I'm finding it really hard work as well. Last one. Pull away. Now I've said last one, we're going to come in one more time. And we're going to open out to the sides. Take some little bicep curls. In, away, and in, away. You could always get rid of the hand weights at any time. You know that. All the exercises can be done without props as well. 4 more. Last 4. After our last one, we're going to lengthen 2 arms up to the sky. Last one, here it comes. Reach away, 2 arms reaching up, long spine. Take a moment, just press those weights overhead, over the shoulder socket, nice and strong and stable through the torso as we slowly lower the arms, really slow. That's probably the hardest part when they're right out to the sides. Nearly there, they're slowly coming down. The relief is going to be so nice when we put the hand weights down. And you may release your hand weights. Let's take a little bit of softer movement through the upper body. We're going to go for a little bit of a breaststroke. Yes, it is. So we're lengthened through the spine. We're going to reach the arms up overhead. I'm going to exhale as I go. I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to take a little curve of the spine forwards and then unroll. Nice and simple. Let's go for 3 more. Lifting through the sternum should feel nice as we open out through the arms. 2 to go. Unroll. Last one of exactly the same thing. Reach up and away. Opening up. Unroll. We're going to take 2 arms back out in front of us. But a little bit nicer now, we're not holding the hand weights. And we're going to go for a little spinal rotation and return. So I'm just pulling the elbow back and turning back into that hand. And I'm thinking about the sit bone staying nice and still in space as we find this rotation, this sort of archery, pull of the elbow and return. Once more each side. Pull away and back. And return. Last time. Allow the arms to come down. We're going to go for our breaststroke action once again. 4 times through. Here we go with the reach. Exhale, reach up. Inhale to open through the chest. Exhale, curving over the legs to unroll. 3 to go. Think of a wide reach there. Fingers, little fingers, cutting down towards the edges of your chair. So we're reaching up through the top of the hand, little finger cuts down so the palm stays open. And make sure that's an upper back curve and not just a collapse in of the shoulders. So the shoulders can stay broad here as the back curves. As we come back up again, we're going to reach again up and away through the arms, back up to the sky, but palms are going to face each other as we rotate and as we come back. So very similar to the previous rotation, we're thinking chin and sternum aligned as the body rotates, and the arms now just opening out, wiggly fingers, you can see them out the corners of your eyes, open away, wiggly fingers, you should see them all. And if you can't see one arm, it's too far behind you, bring it back in again. Last time. We're going to release the arms down. We're going to take some little oozy circles through the shoulders, feeling our upper body workout. Now I'm afraid it doesn't ease up there. We're going to grab hold of that fitness ring. Again, if you don't have one of these, you can do the exercise without. I'm going to be taking some pulses onto the ring, raising the ring up and down, and then we're going to take a little bit of a saw action, which can be done with the hands just balanced on top of the head instead. So we've got a little squeeze and squeeze. It's nice and controlled. We're squeezing inwards. We're going to start to raise that up towards the sky. And it's tricky, it's hard work. Check in with your lower body. Glutes just engaging enough to keep the pelvis supported. Pelvic floor supporting from underneath as well. TVA wrapping around. We're going to start to bring it down again. But slow, keep that press going. Little press in. It's going to come down to have a little rest. As far as you can get it to go, release. Shake off through the arms. We're going to do a sustained press for 16 counts. So it won't be me, it'll be a 1, 2, 3. So that rhythm. But we're going to reach the hands away. And we're just going to press in. 6, 7, 8. We press. 2, 3, 4. 8 more. And release. It was so tricky that I couldn't even describe it to you as I did it and give you any helpful notes there. We'll do it one more time. Sorry. We're going to press in. So I'm thinking about not collapsing through the chest. I'm really trying to stay proud through the torso, but it's just the arms pressing inwards. And again, feet just grounding down. Try not to let the shoulders creep up. Really think about that space between the shoulders and the ears. Right, let's go one more time. Actually, let's wait for the beat to come in. 5, 6, 7, 8. We press. 2, 3. And keep pressing. 5, 6, 7, 8. And release. So now I'm going to switch it over into the sword. So you might be placing the hands onto the head. And we're going to rotate around to one side. Curve the spine as we reach that, what's this called? Fitness ring. Away, come back. Return back to the center. So a very different action now. I'm just balancing it between the hands. And I'm thinking about the top of my head, reaching forward towards that circle. Unrolling, coming back, returning to the center. Same thing to the other side, rotate. Press the ring away, but at the same time, curve over through the spine. Return, shoulder blades trying to suction onto the back of the ribs. Rotate, press away. Return. We're going to go for 2 more to either side. So I'm thinking about the legs just staying grounded. Feet in line with the sit bones. If like mine, they've crept away a little bit. Just bring them back into place. Pelvis trying to stay upright as we curve the spine away. Return. Coming back around. Whew, last one to either side. Final time. Just renew that sense of length through the torso as you reach away, as you come back. Return, replace. Again, have a little ease out through the shoulders. We're going to go into a side bend. So we're going to place this down to one side for a little bit of support in our side bend. If you don't have one of these, you could just place a hand onto the leg, onto the side of your chair. You might want to come a little bit more forward so you've got the leg of the chair, or however your chair looks. But I'm going to place this to one side. And I'm going to reach my arm up and over as I take a little side bend and then open away. So you might need to adjust where that fitness ring is slightly so that you can take your optimal side bend. One more time. On this side, gentle pressure down. So it helps, but it also challenges because it's not a stable object. So you've got to think of a downward pressure rather than an over to the side pressure. Reaching up and pressing down as you come over. There's some stabilizing going on through the shoulder socket there on that supporting side, which is always good. A little bit of work again. And one more time. Reaching up. Pressing down, making sure it doesn't shoot away underneath you. And coming back. Release your arms, release all props. We're going to go for a little bit of releasing shoulder work and then just some breathing to finish off. So we're going to inhale, raise the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, sink them down a little further than is usually comfortable. So a bit further than their natural resting place, and then coming up again. And just moving at your own pace with this, moving with your own breath. One more time. Letting them sink down. And then coming to a happy middle ground, somewhere in between, wide through the collarbones, lengthened on 2 sides of the body, lifting up and out through the top of the head. We're thinking of that breadth across the chest. We're thinking of that upside down balloon that inflates as we inhale low into the lungs, and then deflate as we exhale. So kind of picture that upside down balloon, inflating as your lungs draw the air in, deflating as the lungs send the air away. We're inhaling through the nose, sending it away through the mouth. Just that breathing on its own, helping to engage through our TVA to support the spine that we're always trying to protect. And you've got one more deep breath there. And then just have a little wiggle, shake it off, anything you need, just to kind of reset. And we are done there. Thank you very much.